Hi, and welcome to ECCB Connects. This week, we bring you an update on the EC Digital Cash Pilot Project, a safer, faster, cheaper way for you to pay for your goods and services. Stay with us. We'll tell you more after this message.
Do you still have EC 1 and 2 cent coins? If you do, then you have until the end of this month, 30th June, to spend them, exchange, or deposit them at your commercial bank. After 30th June, you will not be able to use your 1 and 2 cents as they will no longer be legal tender. Find them, spend them, exchange, or deposit them at your commercial bank. Act now and receive value for your 1 and 2 cent coins by 30th June.
Thanks for staying connected with us. Today we have with us Shaman Pablo, Chair of the ECCB FinTech Working Group. Shaman, welcome to ECCB Connects.
Hi, Karina. Thanks for having me.
The ECCB has taken a bold step and made the move towards the development of a digital version of the EC currency, one of the first central banks to move towards a digital version of their money. Why has the ECCB taken the decision to do this at this time?
Karina, when the bank launched its strategic plan back in 2017, the overall theme was transforming the region. And so this DHCD pilot is part of that transformative process where it's all part of the efforts to digitize the economies of the ECCU. So we want to make sure we offer a solution that can give persons a faster, cheaper, and more secure way of making payments and transfers. And we also want to make sure that all persons across the ECCU can be included in the whole financial landscape. So we're hoping that this digital currency will not only transform the lives of the persons, but the ECCU as a region.
As you speak of transformation, persons all over the world are going through transformation with the coronavirus pandemic. We've had to change how we interact with one another, particularly because we are now restricted physically. And businesses have had to change how they serve their clients and customers. How will the DHCD affect or change how we operate in the ECCU in terms of paying for goods and services?
The whole coronavirus pandemic issue has actually helped to increase the interest and awareness as it relates to the DHCD pilot project, because persons are now looking for a more secure way of transacting where there is less interaction, given the whole need for social and physical distancing, and persons generally not want to be too close to other persons because of what is being promoted, the whole for health reasons. Well, with the DHCD, this helps tremendously because you don't have to actually physically interact to make a payment or a transfer. You can have your device and just scan the other person's device and the payment is transferred. Or you don't even have to be physically in the same space. You can transfer funds without being physically there. Once you enter the person's unique identifier, you can transfer the funds. So the DHCD pilot project would help to promote this whole issue of physical distancing, social distancing, and increased health concerns.
Let's move now to how do I actually get to use DHCD? You mentioned an app and transferring funds. How will persons be actually able to use the DHCD?
So the DHCD app is available on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. It will be available on those two to download from the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. So once you have a smart device, you download the app from the Google Play Store or the App Store. And once that device is on your once the app is on your smart device, then you will have to onboard. The onboarding process can be done through your financial institution or through an agent. Now, the financial institutions is for those persons who have accounts with existing financial institutions that are participated in the pilot. That's a commercial bank or a credit union. You will get a code from your financial institution. You will do your online application through the app. You will get approval from your financial institution, and then you can transfer funds from your account at that institution to your wallet that you would have downloaded to your smart device, and then you can start transacting. Now, there are some persons who may not have accounts at financial institutions, or where they have their accounts that their financial institution is not in the pilot. So we have for those a value-based wallet. which is done through agents, which we will promote throughout the pilots. And there you will do an online application similarly, and it will be approved by the agent. And once you have your wallet approved and it's on your smart device, then you can take physical cash, whether to an agent or to a merchant, and exchange that physical cash to digital cash in your wallet. And once the cash is in your wallet, you can start transacting. It's as easy as that.
So it's very similar to topping up a phone. If I went to a merchant to say, here, I need $20 on my phone, I add it to my account and I could start making calls, or I could even transfer credit to another user.
Yes, Karina, because if you go to a supermarket and you have your funds in your wallet, once you pick up your groceries, you go to the cashier, they ring up your groceries, they give you the total, then you can scan their device with their code, and the funds are transferred from your device to their device. So it's that simple. And if you have a friend, say you have a friend in Grenada, for example, who you want to send funds to, you just enter their personal identifier in your smart device, in your app, you enter the amount you want to transfer to them, you hit send, the funds are transferred to them, and your wallet is decreased by the amount that you send. So it's similar to when you have a top of your phone, as I said, or if you're sending credit to a friend.
So not only is it easy to add the credit, but now when we use the DHCD, we'll be able to send funds across the member countries pretty seamlessly without entering a bank.
Precisely.
You mentioned that the app will be on the smart device, your phone or your tablet. You'll be able to use it on the go. Persons may have asked a question, what about my data usage if I'm not in an area with Wi-Fi? Would I have to pay extra to use the DHCD app?
Karina, the DHCD requires data or Wi-Fi, as I said, to transact. So you must have data or Wi-Fi connection to be able to transact. However, we're pleased to advise that the internet service providers, or the ISPs, in the pilot countries have all agreed to zero rate the app. What does that mean? It means that even though you're using data to actually transact, it's not going to reduce your data. So your data allocation that you pay for is not going to be reduced because for the DHCD transaction, because they have agreed to zero rate it. So you do need a data connection, but it will not reduce your data.
That's very exciting because, people are very particular about, guarding that data. It's precious commodity. So it's good to know that there won't be any additional charges incurred to use the DHCD. It's very seamless.
Yes, and we appreciate the partnership from the ISPs in this way, because it goes a long way in terms of encouraging persons to actually use the DHCD, knowing that their data will not be affected by its usage.
The pilot is being conducted in 4 of the ECCB member countries: Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia. And as we know, it's divided into 2 phases. The first phase for development and testing, and then the second phase is for implementation and deployment. What stage is the project currently at? What's happening?
Karina, as I mentioned, the pilot is being conducted in 4 of our countries. And persons might wonder, why those 4? Why not all 8? Why not another 4? Initially, when we started out this project over a year ago, we would have sent out to all the countries for them to express interest to be part of this pilot, given that participation is voluntary. And in particular, participation by the financial institutions, because like the physical currency, the DHCD is issued through the FIs, the financial institutions, so through commercial banks and credit unions. So based on the interest that was indicated, where the commercial banks and the credit unions displayed interest, then we determined which countries we will pilot the project in. So that was how we determined those 4 countries. In terms of where the pilot is at this stage, we're actually at the stage of preparing for launch, and launch is slated for July 2020. So for the last year or so, we've actually been developing the various aspects of the project. So we had, from March last year, we have been developing the various applications. So we have the financial institutions app, the merchants app, the agencies app, and the end users app. And we've had a bit of a setback because of COVID-19, because initially we had said 12 months development and then 6 months pilot. However, COVID-19 would have come on stream and would have set us back somewhat. So at this point in time, we have the apps developed, and we're testing. We're actually going through preliminary testing, acceptance testing, and also some level of training for all the partners in the program. So the financial institutions, the merchants, and we're going to move into the end users shortly. So we're now at a stage where, as it were, on the home stretch towards launch in July. It is a bit challenging given the fact that we cannot actually travel to the countries and do in-person training and in-person testing as we would have liked to, but we are using technology and we're doing it virtually. So we have the commercial banks, the credit unions testing, we have the agents testing, we have the merchants testing, and we also have our developers bit assisting in this regard. So we're hoping that by the end of this month, we'll have completed all the major testing that we have to do in preparation for launch next month.
Shaman, how can people obtain more information about the DHCD pilot project? And again, how do they sign up?
Karina, there's currently information available on the bank's website on the whole DHCD project. We have frequently asked questions and responses to those questions. We have newsletters that we've been issuing for the past few months. And as we prepare for launch in July, we'll be having a media blitz where all things DHCD will be made available to the public. We'll have literature which describes the project, how can you be a part of it, and just helping persons to understand the project so that they can actually prepare themselves to become a part of this very exciting adventure and this new phase in the whole life of the ECCU. Also, you can send an email to info@eccb-centralbank.org to indicate your interest in being part of the pilot. We recognize that it's something new and persons might be a bit timid at first, but we're hoping that as we go through the process and we give persons more information, it will entice them to be part of this project. And we'll also partner with the FIs, the financial institutions, and the merchants to also woo their customers to be part of this project as well. So we are partnering with them. We'll share our marketing materials with them, and they also have their own way of encouraging their customers to be part of this project. So together we will work towards the success of the pilot.
Shaman, as you said, some people may be timid to sign up and to use the DHCD. It's a new product. It's something that they've never interacted with before. What would you say to encourage persons to become part of this transformation?
In addition to it being safer, faster, and cheaper, we also want to tell persons that this is a way of helping with your financial management. Because from a personal perspective, sometimes you go to the ATM and you withdraw $500. And 3 days after you have $0 and you can't figure out how did your money go? Where did your money go? How did you spend your money? What this allows you to do is to be able to track your spending down to the very cent. So you can see exactly how your money was spent, where you spent it, which merchant, what you spent it, not necessarily what you spent it on, but at least you know where your money was spent. And then you'll be able to determine, okay, based on that spending pattern, do I need to adjust? Do I need to change anything? But it gives you that ability to track your spending much better than if you're using physical cash. And one of the things I think persons are mindful of is the fact that the DHCD is another form of payment that helps to reduce the use of cash. So we're trying to make it safer so persons don't have to carry around a lot of cash in their wallets. And then also you have the added benefit of being able to track your spending. So that's a benefit I think persons can appreciate in terms of what it offers to them. And also being able to send money to your kids, send money to your friends, send money to your parents in a faster way. So if a person is in a bind and they need money quickly, you can do it quickly. So it's a benefit to individuals, a benefit to merchants, because then you have another payment method, which is cheaper than some of the existing payment methods as well. And the whole issue of handling cash can become expensive. So that is also a benefit to this actual project.
I think that is definitely something persons and people can look forward to, because we've all had a situation where we withdraw funds from our account and we spend it and we're looking the next day and trying to figure out where did the money go, and we just can't get a handle on it. So this is really a good way for us to see in real time where the money is going, and then if we forget, we have a way of easily tracking it. Now, Shaman, the question may also be asked. The DHCD app is on my phone. What happens to my cash, my DHCD, if I lose my phone or my tablet?
The DHCD is actually stored on the blockchain, which is the infrastructure that supports the whole DHCD. So even though your device is used to access it, it's an access, not necessarily funds are not necessarily sitting on your device, your phone or your smart or your tablet. It's actually on the blockchain. So what would happen if you lose your phone or you change your phone for that matter? There's a process whereby you can actually recover your funds. Similar to when you forget your password, you go answer some security questions and you go through that process. It's a similar process. So we're telling persons, even though the onus is on you to secure your passwords, etc., we're still saying that there is a method whereby you can, in fact, recover your funds in the event that you lose your device or it is replaced for whatever reason.
So as you said, in terms of the safer, there's less of a risk as opposed to using physical cash.
Precisely.
Once the physical cash is gone, I can't look back again for it, but I have here that I can recover my account and my DHCD will still be intact.
Yes. So also, Karina, in terms of security, we're using the blockchain as a platform for the DHCD and Hyperledger Fabric, which allows for greater security. And because ours is a private permission blockchain where all the participants are known, at any time we know who the participants are. So it's easier to track. So that is one of the reasons why we chose this particular solution, because of the high level of security of it. Now, persons may also have a concern about, well, who's going to know about my payments? Who's going to see my transactions? And it's no different to currently where only your commercial bank sees your transactions. So you have a relationship with your commercial bank and they see your transaction. It's similar. The only time we will divulge any information if it's legally required to do so. So even though the information is on the blockchain, it will not be accessed unless absolutely necessary. And so persons have the comfort of that privacy being maintained.
Yes, so the DHCD application takes into account not only the cybersecurity risks, but also the privacy stipulations that persons would have and need when it comes to their finances.
Yes, yes.
Shaman, as you said, the DHCD is designed to be an option, an alternative to physical cash. How is it different, though, to credit cards and debit cards that we use to pay for our goods and services?
The major difference, particularly with debit cards, is the speed and to some extent the cost on the side of the merchants. Because the merchants have to pay fees to use for debit card transactions. So that's, from the merchant side, the costing is lower for DHCD. In terms of the individual, though, it's about it being faster. Very often when we do debit card transactions, our accounts are updated immediately. With the DHCD, the funds are moved from your wallet to the payee's wallet immediately. So you have that speed. So you know exactly how much funds you have remaining right after the transaction is completed. And as I said, Karina, what we are trying to promote here is a reduction in the use of physical cash. So the DHCD is not a payment method that replaces physical cash.
Shaman, thank you for speaking with us on ECCB Connects. We look forward to seeing the DHCD come to life and seeing people interact with this new payment option.
Thank you, Karina. And the public can look out over the next few weeks for more information on the DHCD, how they can be a part of it, and what it's all about. And we look forward to full participation as we enter this new exciting phase in the ECC.
We now present Did You Know?
Did you know that the Monetary Council is the highest decision-making authority of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank? The Council is made up of the 8 Ministers of Finance from each of the ECCB member countries and is primarily responsible for directing the monetary and credit policies of the bank.
Do you still have EC1 and 2 cent coins? If you do, then you have until the end of this month, 30th June, to spend them, exchange, or deposit them at your commercial bank. After 30th June, you will not be able to use your 1 and 2 cents as they will no longer be legal tender. Find them, spend them, exchange, or deposit them at your commercial bank. Act now and receive value for your 1 and 2 cent coins by 30th June.
To view any episode of ECCB Connects anytime, any place at your convenience, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn at ECCB Connects.
We've come to the end of another episode of ECCB Connects. Join us next week when we bring you another program to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you. Thanks for watching.